Welcome to Politics with the Princess on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. You can watch us on Facebook, YouTube, and all social media platforms. We are back, and I am here with the dynamic founder of ABC for Justice, Tracy P,
Hey,
and a very special guest, the love of my life, Al BJ Williams.
What's
How are
up?
you
What's up?
guys doing today?
Great, great, great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm alive. So we all are alive.
Yeah, I'm still breathing.
Okay, but
that's always a good thing.
before we get into like all that is going on, how about we start off with some words of wisdom for people to carry through this weekend? Because some people are going through some hard times. So, what would you like to tell people to do?
Tracy P.
I'm waiting for you.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess my initial word of wisdom would be, you know, my favorite quote number one is every man and woman is born to this world to do something unique and something distinctive. So, everybody was born to do something unique. And if he or she doesn't do it, it will never get done. That means you are very, very valuable to this society, valuable to your community, valuable to your family. And there are certain things you have to get up and do, or it will never be done positively, for yourself and for your community. So that's number one. Um, get up and get it going. Don't stop. Don't quit. And don't give in, especially when you know your purpose.
Okay, Tracy Peace.
Yep. So I would say when the going gets tough, um, drink a daiquiri. Uh,
That's a good idea. It's a good
maybe
one.
it's a little cold right now. But no, I would say the same thing. Don't ever give up. Um, good things come to those who wait. I should know. I've been waiting for 5 months. But yeah, so just don't ever give up. Just keep on going.
Okay, I will piggyback off of both of you guys. I want to tell people just do it, right? Like Nike. Al said something. We're all here for a purpose and a reason. And I think deep down in our gut, we know the purpose and the reason we are here for. So I would tell everybody to just do it. Just just do it. Like don't wait for somebody to give you the okay to do it. If you do that, you will be waiting forever, I think, for somebody to say, okay, you can do it. So just do it, right?
Just do it.
Just do it. So let's dive into our first topic.
You have your hat on.
You can put your hat on, okay? I like my hat, right? Okay. So let's dive into our first topic. The Detroit mayoral race, which is going to be a huge
Mm-hmm.
race. First, I would like you guys to tell me how important you think the Detroit mayor is to the state of Michigan. Just the Detroit mayor.
The most important seat outside of the governor. Even with the governor, I still think the mayor of Detroit is the most important seat in the state of Michigan. Um, similar to Chicago and Illinois, similar to LA and California, similar to New York in New York, similar to Atlanta in Georgia. The city of Detroit is one of the, if not the strongest political seat outside of the governor's seat, if not as just important as if not just as important as the governor's seat. That's number one. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that the mayor of Detroit is pretty much. I mean, in my opinion, it is more important than the governor's seat. I think that the mayor of Detroit pretty much uh, tells the governor which way we're going.
Okay. That's understandable. I think it's very important. So, does anybody want to stay? We'll start with you, Tracy and Al. We'll do you do the first four people that you know that are running for mayor. Now you tell us more who are running for mayor in the city of Detroit and kind of give us. Well, I guess Al, you can give us a vision on each person. Like, tell us a little bit about each person. I mean, because we have a list. So who's running, Tracy?
Um, so I don't live in the city of Detroit.
That's fine.
And I only actually know two of the people that are running for mayor, and that is Mary Sheffield and Joe Tate.
Joe Tate's not running.
Oh, Joe Tate
Oh,
is not
he's
running.
not running.
He
Okay.
did do a thing saying that he's not running.
Okay, so then I really only know Mary Sheffield. I don't know her that well. However, I know someone who is running for city
Okay, we
council
want
that
to do the
loves
mayor's
her.
race and then we'll do the city councils.
Yeah.
But Al, who else is running for mayor of Detroit?
I mean, I know everybody on this list pretty much. Joe Tate announced that City wasn't running. I know Mary Sheffield. I've known her since she's been in politics, since she came out of college. I've known Todd Perkins for 2 decades at least. Solomon Kinlock, I know his family. I know him. I don't know him as well as everyone else, but I do know him. Chantel Jenkins, I've known since um, she worked for city council before she became a councilwoman. When I was just getting into politics myself, and Fred Durhall, I've known him all of his life. And so I know, and Joel Hashim, I've heard of him. I don't believe I've met him, but I have heard the name. There are other names, John Barlow, who's
Oh,
also a candidate
yes.
running. He's not on here. You also have James Craig, who
James Craig,
is also
intern.
running.
Yep.
He's not on here. And then there are some other names who individuals who I do believe are running, but have not really gotten the recognition. Um, but they haven't announced, so we won't mention them.
So, out of the list of people who have announced, and this is probably too early to say, who do you think or who do you guys think has the best chance to
Oh,
win? Like, and maybe nobody right now. Maybe you don't know right now. But right now, if the election was like tomorrow,
well, I mean, name recognition, would put I think would put either Chantel Jenkins and Mary Sheffield in the final two, or Mary and Fred in the final two. That's if the election were held today for a
okay.
primary. Um, but I also I think a lot of these individuals are very talented. I think Fred is talented. I think Chantel Jenkins is extremely talented. I think Todd Perkins brings a whole wealth of knowledge and
What do you
talent
mean
that,
by talented?
meaning they're good at their craft. They know how to lead in their own space, and I believe that they will bring something to the table if elected mayor. I think the next mayor of Detroit is going to need some help, whoever it is. Out of all of these candidates, they are going to need some help. They're not going to be, um, you know, they're going to be able to get the job done as they see fit, but when it comes to representing this big city and coming from where we've come from in the political environment that we're in, it needs to be all hands on deck. And so I want the next mayor to be successful, as all of us should. And so I believe the next mayor, whoever it is going to need all hands on deck. They're going to need some help. And so I think all of these people bring something to the table. Fred brings a wealth of knowledge from the state legislature and city council policy wise. Mary brings a wealth of knowledge running the city as a city council president and a city council woman, but also just that support and for family and children and those voices who will go unheard for so long. I think she has been there to lift those voices up. But that can be a positive and a negative thing. Chantel Jenkins has done the same. Mariners in. She's been there in the nonprofit space for Thaw and many other things. She worked under Marianne Mahaffey. She knows policy. She knows how to run the city. And so she's huge as well. And then you got
Solomon Kinlock is
Solomon.
one of my favorites, along with Todd Perkins.
Yeah, well, Solomon.
So Todd Perkins, I've known for years.
Yeah, Solomon Kinlock is a pastor of a huge church. And he knows how to run a business. It remains to be seen if running a church is the same as running a city.
But in his community, and like I said, he's one of my favorites on this list. And I would say one of my because I love Todd Perkins,
Yeah.
and
And if you want a champion for the people, Ty Perkins is gonna be it.
oh, Todd Perkins is definitely the champion of the people. I would say Todd Perkins. I've seen his whole career where he's defended those who others did not want to defend. And he is no stranger to how I would say the streets, like the real people, the hood, and the same as for Solomon Kinlock. So
Yeah. So
I like those people who are able to be in a number of worlds and just like they are not just up there with the elite. They understand the importance of, and I hate regular people, right?
Yep.
Like it is so important to
Hmm.
connect to the everyday, what
Yep.
people will consider the thug or the street, you know what I'm saying? And to have their respect. Even though they're not a guaranteed voter all the time, I do think that a person like a Todd Perkins, Solomon Kinlock, and I'm trying to see, and maybe even a Fred Nurhall will bring those people, inspire those people to come in and vote, right?
Yep.
Because they've been out there talking to them in the community, in the neighborhood for years, not just because they're running for mayor. So that's something that I respect and I like from the background where I grew up. And they're obtainable. So that's what I would say about that.
Well, I mean, I think all of them have talent. I think all of them will bring something to the table. I think all of them bring something different to the table. But in this political environment, with all that's going on, I think Detroit is the epicenter of the change that we need to see within the Democratic Party. And within politics, I think we are very culturally mixed. We have a large number of labor, a large number of booming businesses and small business owners. We got a large service industry, and then we have some very, very some issues that are we're confronted with that are also confronting on a large scale in other major cities, like child homelessness, like water issues, or water rates, like resources, or our access to electricity and energy, and the rates that DTE is going up on a regular basis, some of which the city doesn't have anything to do with, but the next mayor of Detroit is going to be faced with. And so, I think that they're going to need some help, and we need to be challenging all of them over the next couple of months, asking them
So,
the right questions.
so I want to tell y'all this. We'll be doing a poll throughout the show. I would say you're watching Politics with the Princess on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. You can watch us on uh, Facebook Live, YouTube, and all other social media platforms. There's a number you can call in. Tracy Pease will answer. And the number is Tracy Pease. Give everybody the number.
313-685-6417.
And Tracy Pease will allow you to say, who do you think is good for the Detroit mayor's race? That's it. You could give like a one sentence why while we're going through what is happening today. So, our next topic, I think we should touch on the governor's race before we go. Like, we're going into state politics. Okay, so we have this governor's race. Who has entered the race so far running for governor?
Who was announced?
Who is now? It's not on here. We have who?
Garland is announced.
Mike Duggan.
Hold on. So
Garland Gilchrist is announced. Mike Duggan is announced, and then you have Jocelyn Benson, who's
Yep.
announced.
and sheriff.
Sheriff Chris Watson or Swanson has announced.
Okay. And
on the Democratic side, and then you have Nesbitt on the Republican side, who's announced. I think one other Republican just announced.
with it being laid out right
Hello?
there, with it being laid out right there, is that a caller?
Yes, it is. Hello.
Hey, Pat Johnson, how are you today? Can you tell us who do you think, who do you like for the Detroit mayor's race right now, if anybody? Okay.
90% of the time it was incorrect. But my concern is not that people are just good businessmen or women running their crafts, but how are they going to bring new activity and new money? Like when we had the NFL draft, those kind of big events like that. Which one out of this group would probably have those connections where people would listen to them and consider Detroit as the venue they would want to bring those kind of events to?
Mm.
Okay. Okay. I like that. And then in the chat, Queen Carol Conway said Kinlock is a minister.
Yep.
What happened with separation of church and state? Um and
That's a very good point.
okay, right. That's a
Some of
very
our
great
some of our
point.
best council members have been ministers. The first African American council member in the city of Detroit was Nicholas Hood, who was a minister. And so, although I hear exactly what she's saying, we've had some good representation, at least on council,
So
from pastors.
I have a question. Let's talk about the governor's race. So do we have Pat on the line still for the governor's race?
Yes.
Miss Pat Johnson, at this point in the race, do you have a favorite or do you just have an opinion about the governor's race and the candidates right now?
Like I repeated a little while ago, my concern is not just that what you've done, like okay, you had programs for the hungry and getting children off the street and homelessness and stuff like that, but and which is all important. And but what can you do past that? What are you doing like for people that need to work and send their children to childcare? Making it more reasonable and safe, along with bringing big events to the city that will also generate money to the city, especially since Trump has put out all these tariffs and Canada is just cutting us off left and right, which is basically impacting us.
Okay, I like that. So, okay, so thank you so much, Pat Johnson. In the governor's race at this table, any opinions on the candidates right now or on just the governor's race? Any opinions before we move on to the minimum wage issue that Tracy is
Well,
so pissed off about? Okay.
I mean, I think that having Detroit is lucky. Having three candidates in the race running for governor that are
From Detroit.
all from the
Mhm.
city of Detroit. That's a first. So we're lucky, and I think that we need to look at that and approach it as such, and get really active and really involved in this governor's race. No matter who you choose, I think we got two of the most talented Democrats that we have up there. Whether they've been um, sometimes not looking always democratic, or sometimes not always there to help fight us. I think that they're still two talented individuals, and that's the pool that we have. Can we do
Well,
better?
I
I
think
absolutely
I
think we can.
think well we have that's the two from Detroit, but we also have Swanson, right? Who I want to know more about. I met him last year in Mackinac.
Yeah.
That's it. But I want to know more about Swanson.
Yeah, I mean, he got a long way to go. He's been the sheriff. And so we got to know more about his policies on everything outside of running
But
a jail.
this is the thing though. Right now in this atmosphere, I think people are tired of what we know about politicians. And I say
Yep.
that and I'm looking from
Well,
you know.
I'm not saying that
So let
I'm
me
not.
finish. So I think that people will be willing to give him a chance, whereas 4 or 5 years ago they wouldn't have been. I am one of those people that 4 or 5 years ago I probably would have said exactly what you said. He's a sheriff that runs a jail. I'm tired of career politicians. Like I am done
As
with the
He's a
disappointment.
politician.
as far
But you just said something that he's not a politician sitting in
No, I didn't.
Lansing.
What I said,
I'm
what I meant was, and I'm not counting anything against him. What I meant was, he's great. He got a good personality, great background. But to run for governor, he still has to show how he would react to the minimum wage fight.
as
Nobody
But
knows
hold on,
what his
as far
let
stance
me
is
say
on that.
this. Oh, go Tracy.
as I'm concerned, when it comes to this governor's race, um, I'm looking at it as you can go ahead or they can go ahead and tell me whatever the hell they want to tell me.
Say that part.
But when you get into the office, guess what? Everything
Everything
changes.
changes.
So
Everything has
I
changes.
I have really my only opinion is I'm so over the crap.
Over it. As a
I
woman voter, I'm so over
So you're not
the
gonna
same
vote
old
in the
same old.
governor's election?
No, we're not saying we're not gonna
I'm
vote.
not saying that I'm not going to vote. Absolutely not. What I am saying though
It's 2 years
is
away.
that don't I'm not going to go ahead and vote for somebody just because they're a damn Democrat. That's for sure.
Oh, okay.
So we're looking at the independent candidate too, right?
Yep.
Which I can say I've always strongly looking at the independent candidate after November. After November the 5th, was it November the 4th or 5th?
I
When
think it was
they
a
when
six.
they crucified Kamala Harris,
Mhm.
VP, it made me question just everything within the Democratic Party. Am I a Democrat? Yes. But do I trust them right now?
Nope.
No. They act like no. And I am considered the most reliable, loyal vote,
Yep.
the black woman. And then so people tell us that the black woman is the most
Yeah, they
reliable
are.
vote. We are the most reliable vote with the Democratic Party. That's a fact, right? And so, but along with all other groups, we're just super disappointed. Like we were disappointed November,
Mhm.
but I think after let's get to the state, what just happened in the state of Michigan, and then we're gonna talk about national. Like it's so many people that are just disappointed in the Michigan Democratic Party, which changes. I don't care what nobody say. It changes the landscape, how people think, how their mind go, and what they will be willing to do
Yep.
next elections. Now you have your hard, super, super, super hardcore Democrats where they can keep getting treated like crap, and they just don't do nothing and say, "Hey, we're rolling this way." But you have people that are tired of getting treated like crap, tired of the same old, and are willing to go all out like the Arab American community did.
Mhm.
They were like, look, you're gonna have to earn our vote. I mean, we're tired of putting people there that say they're gonna do something and don't do it.
They lied.
Yeah, I
And
mean
then
that
they give you a
that
stupid excuse why they did it. Or
yeah,
no excuse at all. Like
And
it's shameful.
yeah. I don't think the uncommitted vote in this
Everybody
instance.
didn't vote
Hold on,
uncommitted.
hold on. I don't think the uncommitted vote in this instance has given them the solutions that they were looking for after the election. That whole uncommitted community,
I don't think it
whether
did.
I don't think it gave them the solution. So you can say we can go back and do what they did, but they didn't get anything
No, what
for
I'm
that.
saying is
Hold
this.
on, they didn't
It's
get
not
anything out
about
of that.
what
They
you
didn't get
got
anything for
for
that.
it. It's about the
Making a
stand.
statement,
It's
being
about
symbolic.
sometimes it's about making a statement and not always about going along. Because if you go, we black people have been going along forever. What the hell have we gotten out of it? Name
I,
one thing.
I don't think
That
black
wait,
people have been
yes
going
we
along forever. I
have.
don't think the civil rights
Especially black.
movement was about going along forever.
That's
I
the
don't.
only thing you can
No,
name.
no, I can't. There's
Name
more
something
than
else.
that. I don't think that what Mayor McCray did in Flint was a part of going along. I
Oh,
don't
then
think that.
name
I don't.
something
Uh,
that black people got.
what?
Name something.
Well,
Name something that black people got. Name something
affirmative
besides
action. Number
that's
one.
gone.
Black owned businesses. Number two, all throughout this, we got ownership right now in this city because of Coleman Young. We got
We got
jobs.
ownership in
We
this
got
city.
job. We got more jobs in this city because of Coleman Young. We got ownership of big companies in this city because of black elected officials who were Democratic. Now, I understand every elected official, every Democrat, I don't agree with either, but we shouldn't we shouldn't be shooting the values of the party down.
Nobody's
We should
shooting
hold
the
on, wait,
values of the
let me
party.
finish. Let me
I
finish.
think you.
Let me finish. We should be shooting at those leaders and those individuals who need to be replaced. That's how the party has always been strengthened.
then
When we've had time,
we
when
need to
You
when
need
scrap
we
your
them
wife
we
all.
from
we've been
Flint.
we've been in
You just trying to say.
we've been in these times before. We've been in these times before when party leaders did not vote the way membership wanted them to vote, and we got rid of them.
You go
We didn't
ahead.
leave the
Let
party; we
Tracy.
improved
Let
the party.
Tracy
You
talk.
go ahead and you look at John Lewis's
We didn't get
voter.
that
You didn't get that, and now, what do they want to go ahead and do?
exactly.
Is the Save Act, which is specifically it's blatant voter suppression. And they're not going after people. Well, I'm a woman, so it's 69 million women that they want to go ahead and say, now your name that is on your birth certificate has to match the name that is on your driver's license or on your state ID. Who is that going to go ahead? Who is
Women,
that going to go ahead and affect?
women.
And specifically, the 92% of black women who went ahead and pushed the Democratic vote
Say
in
that
the
part.
state of Michigan, now they're looking at, oh, you have to either have a passport, and a passport, to get a passport, is $178. I know that. Um, or you have to go ahead and get your birth certificate changed. So it will go, if you've been married. I've changed my name 4 damn times.
Again,
Wait, hold on. Al, my turn.
we this is
Is it
not
20?
we've been there
Yes, 20.
before with voting
Yes.
rights. Tashana, go ahead.
It's like we're in a circle.
Okay, go ahead.
What I would say is this, as black women, because we've never had a chance to say this on air. November the 5th mattered to us, and nobody would tell us that it did not matter. So we're not buying that from anybody, a black male, a white male, or nobody's telling us that our feelings are not valid, right? The people of the United States of America chose a grab them by a you know what over a person that was
Yep,
qualified and talented. They said, before we let a black woman lead this
yep.
country, we will take a 32 something convicted felon. That hurt. And I would just say this so it can be very clearly understood. What VP Kamala experienced most black women experience in a micro level, on a micro, with our families, with our friends, like always being better, but getting paid less and being stumbled on and our work being stolen and all that. She experienced that on a macro level to where every black woman, and probably white women too, experienced it all at the
Mhm.
same time. So nobody would tell us, oh, just because you are a Democrat, you have to vote Democratic and you shouldn't analyze candidates differently. We are going to, we have no choice but to analyze every Democratic candidate differently now. And then let's speak to the Michigan House. What the hell is going on there? It lets us know we need to analyze every candidate. Like you said, we don't hate the values of the Democratic Party, but if it is a candidate running for Democratic office that our values do not align with, and we know that they will not have our back, we can probably vote independent if we know
Mhm.
what that person is bringing. That's what we're saying. We're not saying forget the Democratic value. We're saying forget supporting these
Yep.
people that we put in office. And we're not going to do the thing that they say. It's the lesser of two evils. Oh, that's the
Mm-mm.
only person running. No, it can't be the only
Not
person running.
not
We're
go
not
along to
doing
get
that
along.
anymore. That those
Mm-mm.
days are gone. So we do carry the values. We believe in the values. We no longer believe in the people that are in that office that are supposedly representing
Yep.
their values.
Yep.
Al Williams. Before we go to national,
Um, I mean, I think that what you're saying is is absolutely what everybody's thinking. It's not what I'm not disagreeing with anything that you're saying. I think that Democrats need to not we need to instead of talking about pivoting or moving, we need to improve. I agree with you on the fact that we don't need to be shooting at the party and the values of the party as opposed to shooting at more so the individuals who are not voting on the values of our party. And that's where our problem is. And I've said this before on voting rights, the Save Act, it is scary. But we've been through scarier when it comes to voting rights. No, we didn't get the John Lewis
black
Act.
people have.
No, we didn't get the John Lewis Act. But at the same time, I really don't believe that a lot of or a lot of Democrats were on board with
Which is
improving
the
with
issue.
making sure that we had the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. And so, you know, we got to make sure that we get just like the Republican Party. They're very homogenistic, but they all on the same page. no matter how bad it is. They all on the
Yeah,
same
we have
page.
to get on the same page but we have to get on the same page by being honest. See,
Mhm.
this is the thing. People don't want to be honest about what it is. What it is right now with the with any Democratic Party is that they want the black women to knock the doors, phone bank, and do the work. And any grassroots organizer, they do. But they don't want you in the room where all
Nope.
the decisions are being made. Let's be honest about that.
Mhm.
They, especially in Michigan, now when we do this Senate race coming up, they've already chosen who they want to replace Gary Peters. It will not be a fair race. That is, and I can say this on here, bullshit. That is wrong.
Mhm.
Allow a fair, imbalanced election.
Mhm.
I heard that Senator, he's not a senator. Oh my God, I spoke to his assistant. Abdul is interested in run. Was it Abdul Saeed?
Yep.
I think that's a great choice to run for Senate. I mean, he was great when running for governor, right?
Mhm.
But you allow a fair race. You don't call, you don't threaten people, you don't mess up his fundraiser. You don't do those things. You allow a democratic process. And I think a lot of people are like done with that. I would like you to give the number out one more time because I need
Mhm.
the president of Michigan's our own backbone Tanya to call in and tell us a little bit about it. She will be on the show next Friday. What's the number for Tanya to call in?
313-685-6417.
So that's like the process. Like you there, people are already super turned off. So let's go to our next topic. Oh, we can discuss the minimum wage. We can discuss why Democrats are like, I say Democratic voters are just so pissed off. I mean, I'm trying to say not so pissed off with the Michigan Democratic elected officials.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about the subject that's been going around, of course, the minimum wage?
Absolutely. So, it is the minimum wage, raise the wage, a one fair wage for servers, which would have gone ahead and abolished the sub minimum tipped wage, and then went ahead and raised it to the minimum wage, and it would go ahead and it would raise as the minimum wage, as the minimum wage raised. All right.
Okay.
So
Who are the candidates? Who were the elected officials? They're on this list. It was 8 of them, right?
yep,
Who voted
yep,
for
to
this
gut one fair wage. Yep,
to gut one fair
yep,
raise. Who are they?
yep. Senator Dana Polanyi, Senator Jeremy Moss, Senator Kevin Hertel, Senator Veronica Kleinfeld, Senator Sam Singh, Senator Winnie Brinks, Senator Sue Shink, Senator Paul
And then,
Wojno.
so what I would say to people, if like this is the thing about voters too, and I
Mhm.
would say constituents, they will be so pissed off at their elected officials, right?
Mhm.
And all it takes is a picture to make them smile. Like they'll be
Yep,
pissed. Oh, I'm so pissed they
yep,
voted that way. I'm so pissed. But then
mhm,
they'll throw a chicken dinner in black and white like chicken. So let's just say that. They'll throw a dinner or event and you come there, you take a picture with them, problem solved. And this is what elected officials know.
yep,
I mean, people have to start having a backbone. People have to know that you gotta be able to say no and be strong. Like, no, like
you have to
my
have
you
integrity.
gotta have some integrity and stick with it because they know they can vote this way and their constituents
Uh,
will forgive them. Like it might be a month or two. They might get attacked for a month or two, and their
uh-uh.
constituents will come back and say, "Oh, we're fine. I got a picture. Oh, she invited me to the fundraiser."
Mhm.
And it's over with. So I say, don't complain to me, do something. Because
Mhm.
I like on Facebook, I don't do the complaints. Like all these complaints about what's going on with Trump, I don't do the complaints. Do
Yep.
something. Do something. Sign up to do something. Um, so let's turn to this. The budget in DC. A budget got passed, right? Al Williams, do you want to talk about this? The recent budget that was passed in Washington D.C. Um, why are people attacking Senator Chuck's? Schumer.
Oh well, it was it so it wasn't a full budget. It was a continuing resolution budget. So that's it. It continued. To make sure there wasn't a government shutdown. That's what the our Congress was facing, a government shutdown, and they had to pass a CR, continuing resolution, to continue funding different programs through, I don't know, September, I do believe it is. Chuck Schumer, people are mad at Chuck Schumer because he voted with Republicans
Mhm.
to pass instead of voting against it, which may have shut down the government. He believed, and some Democrats believe that if they
Gary
voted,
Peters.
if they voted
I
to
heard Gary Peters.
other Democratic senators believed, because that's really what it came down to, the Senate, the U.S. Senate. Some Democratic senators, it was only 8 or 9 of them, that believed that if they voted against Trump, Trump CR's budget proposal, then it would have shut down the government and allowed Trump to do whatever he wanted to do while government entities were shut down and defunded. That was their mindset, or the way that was their line of thinking, and that's what Chuck Schumer has said. That's what Gary Peters has said. I don't necessarily agree with that. I believe that, to be honest, that Senator Mitch McConnell did so much more damage under Obama and Biden with less senators. I mean, Obama really couldn't get nothing through the Senate, and they had, I think, 3 less Republican senators at the time than we have now. Mitch McConnell was such a force of resistance. I mean, that's where he made his name. That's where everybody remembers him from. Because Obama he couldn't even get a Supreme Court justice approved. So right now, I believe the CR budget, people are mad at Chuck Schumer for not fighting, not resisting, and agreeing to be Republican light and supporting a Republican CR budget
So
resolution.
I will talk about it from not my point of view, a grassroots point of view, why they're saying they're upset. And Alyssa Slotkin made a statement that cannot be a full time activist like AOC, right? And I think right now people are so frustrated that they just want to see somebody have strength within within the Democratic Party, right? Um, Knowing that even though they can't do anything, but they have like the strength to speak up. Nobody's really speaking up except those who we know who always speak up. Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, right? AOC, right? But and I think that point of view, whether it does anything or not, people are looking for a hero within the Democratic Party right now, and there are absolutely no heroes. So we have just about 5 more minutes, and I want to say the sentiment, and that is the sentiment of the people in the Democratic Party. What are you looking for from your leaders?
I'm looking for my leaders. I want to see a little bit of guts. I want to see a little more fight to them. I did not go ahead. If I wanted to vote for a Republican, I would have voted for a Republican. All right.
Right, Republican
I
light.
am.
A
I am.
Republican like, right?
I am sick and tired of seeing these dinos. We've got 8 right here that gutted one fair wage. Alyssa Slotkin, I never liked her to begin with. I don't trust her as far as I can throw her. All right. But what I'm seeing is that the Democratic Party, the Democratic senators, the Congress people, the ones in our state, they're running scared. They are scared. And you know what? If you can't take the heat, get the hell out of the kitchen and get somebody in there that'll actually stand up for democratic values, because that's what I voted for. I voted for you to go ahead and vote democratic values, not to go ahead and vote on the side of the Republican because, oh, they're scared about what's going on in DC, or God forbid somebody has something on them.
I think too.
Grow a backbone.
Yeah, have a backbone because I mean we knew this was coming. Donald Trump said exactly what he was going
There's
to
not there is
do. Everything. This is the crazy part before we close out. Democrats get total control and don't do nothing
nope,
they said they was gonna do.
nope,
It's
not a
always
damn
an
thing.
excuse why they can't, right? And they got control to do it. which is crazy to me. Republicans get control, they make sure they do exactly what they said they was gonna do. So why the hell is
Yep.
anyone shocked? So I'm so tuned out
What do you
about it.
mean, Gretchen fixing the damn roads?
Okay, so don't want to talk about that. So
All at the
we have
same
some
damn time.
announcements to make, you guys. We have some announcements to make. So most of you have already gotten the email, but if you haven't and you want to join us, please inbox Al or inbox Tracy uh, for the Detroit Mayoral Forum 2025. Location will be sent out 5 days before. The location is gorgeous. Seats are limited. I could say we put out the link today. We're already at 100 RSVPs. And so you might want to RSVP if you got that email. We will make sure it's posted on our social medias as well. But inbox Tracy for the link or inbox Al for the link. You notice I didn't say inbox me for the link. Uh, so the groups that are
You can
doing
inbox
this
her.
is
It's fine.
led by African American Leadership Institute, super majority United Precinct delegates, also our own Backbone, Grassroots Caucus, and other organizations that will join us, and they will be listed soon. This is the first Detroit Mayoral's Forum, and you want to be there. Our next, you got anything you want to say about it?
It's sponsored and hosted by African American
We got
Leadership, Supermajority, United Precinct Delegates, our own Backbone, and we are looking for others to host. If you are from Detroit, you haven't made a decision, and you are active, you need to be there.
You need to be there.
Saturday, April 26th. We'll check out the website, African American Leadership. It's
Televised form.
blackleader.com,
Exactly.
miblackleader.com. If you want more information, you'll be able to get that information this weekend, or you can email us at tashanagill@gmail.com. TASHAWNA.
You can call Al at 313.
gmail.com. TashanaGill@gmail.com.
Really? Okay, so why are you up here playing with me? So we're just about to close out. We only have one more minute, you guys. We want to thank you for joining us. Next week, we are looking to have Tanya Ray from Our Own Backbone, Al, to join us back with his great political views, so me and Tracy can go at him with our grassroots views, because Al is Democrat, true blue, hardcore. And
Detroit Democrat.
Detroit Democrat, Coleman Young Democrat. Thank you so much. And we will see you next Friday on Politics with the Princess, joined by Tracy Pease and Al B.J. Williams.
We met at a Democratic convention.
We did.
You're a Democrat
We
too.
did. We did. We did. We did.
We are still alive.
We are still live.